Thank you, friends. Thank you, colleagues. It's a pleasure to be back at the Brazil Africa Forum. We at Southbridge are very pleased to co-organize with you. Apologies for yesterday. I was in a country where the facility didn't provide me a chance to speak with you. I can see that there are very good discussions going on and with very excellent speakers on the issues of carbon transition, energy transition, food systems, South-South cooperation, the blue economy, water, forest, etc. Now, just a couple of points I want to make. Point number one is that in the new post-COVID world we'll be living in, South-South cooperation will assume a new impetus. It will assume an impetus like never before, simply because we are the least vaccinated part of the world at the moment. And what will drive the economies in the next 24 months will probably be the path of the virus, the level of vaccination, and what happens in the global economy. And therefore, we in the global south, bearing in mind what has obviously become a huge deficit in international cooperation, is evidenced by absence of vaccine solidarity. It's very important for us in the global south to cooperate even more. Now, obviously, I cannot begin my remarks without mentioning what this pandemic has meant for Africa, and I'm sure for large parts of Latin America. This has led to a massive economic shock. A massive economic shock which reflects in what I call a twin fiscal shock. Revenues have fallen dramatically at a time when spending needs are rising. With an estimated negative real GDP of minus 1.3% in 2020, this will have been the worst year for African economy since 1990. The region will also be barely growing above population in 2021, except a few areas. Now, revenues are down by 5% on average, and they are widening the fiscal deficit. International response, which was highly appreciated, has somewhat helped to mitigate some of those consequences, like the G20 debt suspension initiative, which delayed but did not reduce the debt stock, like the massive resource supplies from the International Monetary Fund, which multiplied almost by 10 times its enormous support to Sub-Saharan Africa, which has helped to rebuild the buffers which were weakened. I'm confident that the growth will return, especially in countries which don't depend largely on tourism, but growth will remain at risk. Again, as I say, essentially for three reasons: the path of the virus and its variants. Second, vaccination rates, which are still below 10% in many African countries. And then the path of the global economy. And as far as Africa is concerned, I suspect to an extent Brazil, we see already a bull run in commodity markets, especially things like copper and cobalt, which is related in some ways to the transition in the energy area. But we also see disruptions in the supply chains, which have created a havoc in trade. And also at a time when access to things like vaccine, therapeutics, diagnostics have been a challenge, those are things which have very lasting impact. Now, the subject we're discussing is about natural resources. And I want to say three things about natural resources. What creates wealth in a country is not what it has under the soil or above the soil. Its ability to make complex goods, complex products. And that is a function of its knowledge, the knowledge of its people. And therefore, the real question to ask is how we use the stock of natural resources we have to build the wealth creating capacity, which is a function of how much knowledge we're able to accumulate over time. Obviously, countries who have managed natural resources very well, whether they're the blue economy, the green economy, or mineral sectors, it has helped to build the resources needed for building a knowledge economy based on complex products, but not always. In many others, policy environment did not allow that to happen. Instead, it led to a cycle of boom and bust, which we're very familiar with. We're hopeful that with the creation of the African Continental Free Trade Area, which is not simply a trade area, but also an area for investments, increased movement of people, large economies of scale will be identified. Not simply large economies of scale, but also diversity of skills across the continent. And in this way, we look forward very much to work with the Brazil Africa Institute through this forum and other areas to be able to make progress when the Africa Continental Free Trade Area is fully up and running. So I'm happy to answer your question, but I want to thank you for inviting me and to wish you luck in this forum. Thank you. Back to you.
I'm very pleased to hear your voice, my dear friend Donald. And yesterday, we had a very good beginning with the voice of President Lula opening the first day. And now we have the second day with your voice. Which brings together two leaders from different places, but united in one single direction, which is, again, putting Brazil and Africa together, put the hands of our people together to bring results. And your statement is a milestone for me, for the Brazil-Africa Institute, but I can say for Brazil, because again, I remember when you were at the chair, I mean the head of the African Development Bank, you emphasized the South-South cooperation and the engagement that we should have between Brazil and Africa. And I understand now, after this COVID moment, we should emphasize the need of being together. And working with you and with Southbridge is a privilege for Brazil, because I understand the moment now that we face is dramatic, it's very difficult, but we should be optimists. And I know that you are an optimist man, and I understand the moment brings us the opportunity to go beyond. 2021 is almost over, and we need to understand how we should contribute for next year activities. And I know that with your leadership at Southbridge Group, we can do many things, putting together again Brazil, looking to partner with Africa. We count on your support, on your vision, but I understand we have to do things precisely. Now, as we are going to the end of this conversation with you to open the first day, I would like to give you 2 minutes, my dear friend, to give us a direction how Brazil and Africa can work together to bring good results.
Thank you. Thank you. First of all, my warm regards to President Lula, with whom I have the pleasure to meet, I think, on 2 occasions, including one time in New York. I recall that Brazil was a distinguished member of the African Development Bank from many, many years. And we had identified a number of channels of cooperation, both at corporate level, governmental level, and at human level. I do believe that the experience of Brazil at a time when Africa is launching its continental free trade area is very important. Not only because of our cultural links with Brazil, but because of the experiences you have gone through. I was a frequent visitor to Brazil in the 1980s and 90s. I visited different parts of the country, I was working in the coffee industry in the UK at the time. And I've been impressed by the way Brazil has been able to diversify its economy over many years to deal with macroeconomic instability. But above all, especially under President Lula, on how these social safety nets were able to function. Because at the end of the day, what we want is not simply economic growth. We want inclusive economic growth, which lifts all boats at the same time. So there are lessons to share in policies. There are things we need to share on investment flows. And there are things we need to share, I suppose, in terms of making our voice heard internationally. So I think there are many channels we can use, but the Brazil Africa Institute will be playing a key part in this endeavor. I thank you very much, sir.
All right. Thank you very much for your direction. I think your final words give us the drive for what we have to do in this second day, but for the activities that we have to do in the future. Once again, my dear friend Donald Caberuca, it's a pleasure to have you with us, and I look forward to welcome you again in Brazil very soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you, my friend, and good luck. Good day.